Welcome to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Hello, everyone. This is Guy with Jewelry Store Marketers, and we have another episode here of the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry podcast. And as always, I have our beautiful co-host, Elisa Dillon from Southern Jewelry News, with us.
Hi.
Glad you're here always. And today, yes, thank you. Our special guest today is Cliff Horn from Horn Custom Jewelry. Somewhere down in the South, I should have that outfit. Miss Gulfport, Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah. So welcome, Cliff. Thanks for coming on and talking to us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when I say we, I mean that with lots of love. But Southern Jewelry News featured you and your store back in October. Actually, on Halloween, October 31st. Look at that. And featured your store and your story, and how you came about doing what you do. What is it that you do?
What is probably a shorter list of things I don't do around here. I'm on the bench doing jewelry work for about 32 years now. But I've got my own store as of June will be 5 years. So we're in full retail. We do only thing we don't do in house is watch repair. I've got guys I send my internal watch repair out to, but everything else, I've got my son here with me for the last year, and my daughter and my wife, and so yeah, we do it all, making jewelry and selling it.
It's a family affair. That's
yeah. Fantastic. How's business these days?
It's great. I mean, we're there's just not a lot of independent jewelers in our area any longer. As recently probably as the late 80s, early 90s, there was probably 7 or 8 independent jewelers inside of our downtown footprint. I mean, within a 4 or 5 block radius. And now I don't think there might be 7 or 8 of us from Alabama all the way to Louisiana, as far as the 6 coastal counties. So, yeah, there's a lot of business out there, and we stay really busy.
And because you do the custom, do you carry any branded items in your store, or is it you make the pieces, you put them out, and your showcase is full of more custom designs, or do you carry any other brands or
Yes.
that do well for you in your store, Cliff?
Yeah. We do. Actually, most all of the custom that I do is I'm commissioned to make it. So somebody comes in with their grandmother's jewelry that's outdated, but they want to use her gold and stones, so we'll remake it into something else. A lot of bridal. These days, all the young brides-to-be have their Etsy account, and they've got their pictures of exactly what they want. So, and that's convenient for us. I mean, if we have a picture through computer animated design, then we can cast and make exactly what they want. So I have 7 showcases. Actually, I just picked up 2 more showcases I'm going to put estate jewelry in. So 9 showcases total. Small showroom. I'm probably 800 square foot. But most all of it is vendor pieces. I carry a few designers. And then, of course, we're all familiar with the traveling salesmen that come through and load me up. So most of it is vendor pieces and the showcases.
Good.
Got it. And so you've had your store for like 5 years, but you've been designing or learning about jewelry making for quite some time, right? How'd you get started with jewelry making or with the jewelry?
Well, my adopted grandfather was a watchmaker in Yazoo City, Mississippi for over 40 years. So I spent all of my weekends, running around the woods of Yazoo County and fishing in the ponds. And so he had it early on. He had a couple of sons were jewelers. So that's what got me into the business. He was already getting showcases for me when I was like 16, 17, thinking I was going to open a store immediately. But it didn't work out like that. But it did work out in the end.
Fantastic. And like Elisa said, it's a family business. How has that been for you and your family to, kind of work together and grow a business together?
It's really knock on wood. It's working great. When I opened, I really had it in my mind that I could sit back there, repair jewelry, when somebody comes in, I could go out and, sell them something, deal with them, and go back to, I could run it by myself. Well, that proved to be a fallacy very early on. It was way too much for me to handle. So I got my daughter. She's 25 now. So she was 21 when I brought her in here. And she had a couple other jobs, but really hadn't found a career base yet. And she was pretty shy. So I brought her in just to pretty much job shadow me and, follow me around every day. And after about, I guess about 6 weeks or so of that, I started leaving her on her own. I've got a window. It's kind of a one-way glass that I can see out into the showroom from my shop. So when somebody would come in, I would just pretty much throw her to the wolves and let her, figure it out. And she did. I found her parroting back, exactly the things that I would say, and she took it from there. So then I brought my wife in. She's a realtor by trade, but we needed the help. I needed somebody on the books to do the office end of it. So she rode the fence for a while, and now she's full-time with me and part-time on doing realtors. And then my son, it's been January made a year that I brought him in. And he's 28. He's done a few other things, and I've always wanted him in the business. So finally, a couple of last January, I told him that if I didn't hire him, I was going to have to hire somebody, and because it was more than I could do. So he agreed to come on, and so now he's learning the bench. He's doing my ring sizings and my soldering. So yeah, we all get along good. Of course, none of us live together anymore. They're grown and have their own places. So there's that. We do get to be apart for some.
Yeah, I mean, living and working together 24/7 would be, that might have its difficulties. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, adult children are just a lot of fun, aren't they, Cliff?
We're in that sweet spot. Neither one of them are married. They don't have any children, so we're in that sweet spot right now. I tell people that my kids realize that me and Melissa aren't responsible enough to be grandparents yet.
Now, trust me, you are. Wait. Once you get that call, you'll just be like, "Oh, I'm ready.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, oh, that's
So,
wonderful.
yeah.
Your wife came to help and getting the children. I mean, the jewelry industry is in desperate need to have more younger owners as the succession, and we're seeing a lot of that more so than lately. So it's great that your adult children are interested in the business, and you get to work alongside them. Do you feel like this is where they found their niche? I mean, obviously, your son as a bench jeweler, you gave him the ultimatum: I'm gonna hire you, or I'm gonna hire somebody else. So, do they? Would they see themselves in staying with you? This is permanent. They really are into it, and they're.
Yeah, that really, God's plan, I guess, but it really worked out well. That I worked for somebody else my whole career. Finally, when I turned 40, I went out on my own, and I worked out of my shop at the house. I had a small setup at the house that I did by appointment only, and custom and repair, and I did that for almost 10 years. So when this opportunity came to me, I was able to run my numbers. I knew I could keep the bills paid, keep the lights on with what I'd been doing in my small shop if I moved to retail. So I made that move, but my children were already adults. They had known me as a jeweler their whole life, but I'd never was a jewelry store owner. I was a salary guy. So, they didn't live any kind of extravagant lifestyle. We were solid middle class. So as they became an adult and came into the shop, and as an adult, mature, able to see the revenue stream that this makes possible, and how much fun it is. We have a great time here in jewelry. You're always dealing with people on the best time of their life. When they're getting married, when they're celebrating a birthday, when they're celebrating their anniversary. If there's nobody in the store that's here, in a bad mood. So it's really infectious, and it landed at the great time in their life where they're mature enough to realize that could be a good living for them, and they're excited about it.
That's great.
Fantastic. So now you've you've had your business for a while, but you were working it kind of out of your home, you said, and now with a shop. And do you think that a lot more other, maybe bench jewelers or jewelry store employees out there is it a worth taking the leap to start your own business in the jewelry industry? What's your thoughts about that?
It is. I mean, you've got to have the right personality for it. And I mean, I kind of think that I'm outside the norm because, like I said, I've been doing this for 32 years. I've met a lot of jewelers. And I mean, honestly, by and large, we're kind of a crotchety group. We're not really, a lot of the jewelers you don't want them to see the public, because they're kind of rough around the edges. So you've got to take that into consideration. I mean, I love dealing with people. I enjoy, I've lived here my whole life. So we've got a lot of acquaintances, we know a lot of people. And so it's, I enjoy it, but you've got to take that in consideration. You're going to have to deal with people. And the biggest thing is killing people with kindness. I mean, I've worked at other places where there have been problems. Oh, sorry, it's the store phone ringing them through the computer. But with customers that are upset, and in my mind, if the customer's upset, they're upset for a reason. Nobody's going to create a reason to be upset. So you've got to learn to deal with that. And the biggest thing is, I mean, we went without health insurance for almost a decade, really, and our kids were still small. Yeah, it was scary, but I mean, I was just at a point that I didn't, I jokingly would say when I turned 40, I got tired of people telling me what to do, but that kind of was it. I just, so we just prayed a lot, leap of faith, and the phone rings around here. So that means we're busy.
That's fantastic.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, I think a lot of people think about taking the leap into starting their own business or kind of going out on their own, not like you said, not taking orders from others, putting their own faith in their hands. Obviously, there's lots of sacrifices, like you said. You didn't have health insurance for quite a while, and thank God no one, there was nothing major that happened during that. Yep. And but you sacrificed to I guess work out your dream, and it sounds like it's working out. Congratulations.
Yep, I'll tell myself early that whatever you do, if you can't sign your own paycheck, you're never really going to get ahead. As long as somebody else is signing your paycheck, you're at the whim of what they want to do.
Right. Yes. No, that's fantastic. And I for a long time, since I was 16, there was a quote that I ran into, and I never forgot it, and it always stuck in my mind, and I think it's very relevant. And it goes like this: those who are afraid of the thorns will never be able to pick the roses. And there's lots of thorns out there that will get in your way. Not having health insurance could be a big one. Not eating as nice as you could if you got a nice juicy salary coming in from a job. But then there's freedom and happiness and fulfillment and a lot of things that and your own personal satisfaction. Take care of the customers, and they keep coming back to come see you because you helped them out. And in the article it says making custom piece for everybody is a lot of work, but when you do make a custom piece for somebody, you got them for life.
Yeah, sometimes I do almost regret putting that word in the name of the business, but yeah, but it's I mean, I enjoy that part too. It's like I said in that article that everybody's not going to want a custom piece every time they walk in the door.
Right.
With that one, they're not going to buy jewelry for every occasion, but you'll see them once a year.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's awesome.
And you're going to make a ring for the mother, and then the daughter, and then the granddaughter. That's what it's all about. And we always say this: you trust your jeweler like you would your doctor or your lawyer. So it's very important.
Yeah. I had to run a few people out, but because of the trust issues. If they have any trust issues, I tell them, then you just don't need to leave your stuff with me. You need to find somebody else.
That's right. Yeah. Good. But what piece of advice would you give to new owners? Like, what advice would you have given yourself when you started thinking about having your own place?
Probably the biggest thing is dealing with the public. It's it can be tricky, but that is a motto that we have: is you kill them with kindness. You know, we always quadrant way. If you've got to take a hit and lose on the job if you have to, just to keep everything right. I mean, we've got 5 out of 5-star reviews on everything. I mean, we did. That's another thing that I didn't want to do at first, but we did. We went with one of the systems that that runs the point of sale and off the text messages and Google
Right.
invitations. So that's been a big, because I ask everybody that comes in, how did you hear about me? And a lot lately, it's been Google. I mean, and I'll have a 75-year-old woman come in here and I ask her, how did you hear about me? And she says, I saw your Google reviews. I'm like, well, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Do all your due diligence before you open up. You know, get as much. I mean, Guy writes a lot about how important SEO is with Google to retailers, and he has a lot of people in his jewelry store marketing business. So
Yeah.
that's good advice for people. Just make sure you got all the grounds covered. Do your due diligence.
And probably a big thing too is knowing what jobs not to take.
That's it.
And experience, really. It's hard to know that going in, but I mean, especially I feel bad for jewelers that never had worked with other jewelers, because if you've ever been in the shop setting with other people doing the same thing that you do, it's a hive mentality. You know, there's you learn a lot from just how somebody else does it, even if you don't do it the way they do it. You can take that and extrapolate and find.
Absolutely.
But there's some jobs that there's some telltale signs that you will save yourself a whole lot of grief if you just politely decline, and you're not going to be able to help them in this particular ring.
Absolutely. I think anybody, any person that's trying to grow something, a business, or grinding away, trying to make a place in this world, one of the things that a lot of people have to struggle with is saying no. And I think saying no is a superpower that more people should learn to do, because yes, you can't, if you say yes to everything, then you're spinning your wheels. You're probably losing a lot of time and resources just by doing those things that you shouldn't be dealing with. And that advice of working with somebody really is very helpful. You learn from people that know how to do the business, and that's really good. And would you say, and that's how you learned? Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's I'll never forget. There was how I learned to put a puzzle ring together. Do y'all remember the puzzle rings? They were big.
Oh yeah.
The service members brought them back from overseas, and well, I had a 12-piece one, and I'd never seen one before.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they wanted to size it up, and I'm like, well, it's just sizing 12 individual rings up. I mean, how big a deal could it be? So I tried to do it one ring at a time and not let it, come to pieces. Well, about the third one, something shifted in my third hand, and they all hit the pan. All individual rings, everywhere. So about a day and a half later, I knew how to put a puzzle ring together. I could do it in my sleep. So, necessity is the mother of invention sometimes.
Yeah.
From that point on, you maybe would pass on a puzzle ring? Is what a.
Oh well, I was the expert after that. I mean, it took a while.
After that, okay. Well, do you pass on some jobs because of the skill set, or that you could see that this little, Mrs. Johnson over there is going to be a big pain in the ass? Come on, it's like, I'll never make her happy. Let's just, let's cut it off right now.
Yeah, some people, and it's rare. It is exceedingly rare. In 5 years, I can think of twice that I've done it since I've had my business here. Kill of kindness, just politely decline. But other than that, it would be something I would talk somebody out of. Is if it's just, the jewelers hate having somebody else's headache. Yeah, I can get a ring and see where somebody's put a half a penny weight of solder in it, and the stones are sets. Just helter skelter. I mean, there's some pieces that just are beyond salvage. Those are the ones that that I'll just won't work on. I'll tell it why, and maybe pull them into something else, or maybe remove those stones and reset it in the new mounting. But and most of the time, the customers, if you sound like you know what you're doing and act like you know what you're doing, people think you know what you're doing. And after 32 years, I kind of think I know what I'm doing, and that wears onto the customer. So most of the time, when you give them advice and explain why you're telling them what you're telling them, there's no problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's good. That's good.
That's
amazing.
fantastic. So, Cliff, if you weren't running a jewelry store or making jewelry and so forth, what would you be doing?
Fishing.
Fishing. All right. So,
We're right here on the Gulf. I've got the water. We got the longest beach highway in the United States that goes 26 miles from the Mississippi Sound. So, we this time of year. Matter of fact, if this podcast was going to be April the 26th, I wouldn't be here because it's spring and I'm fixing to sneak out and go catch some fish.
That's what I'm talking about. That's good. That's that life work balance that every one of us need, especially a business owner. You're on that bench all day. I'm sure your back and your neck sometime are just screaming, and nothing beats your personal life of getting out, I'm sure, and doing some fishing. I mean, that's a great way to relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope we got enough time out there on the water these days.
Well, since my son, he's been with me a year now, and that was the big thing for these first 4 years. I didn't get to get out a lot just because, I couldn't, my wife and my daughter, some days I could leave my half day, but, it's better having my son here and having 3 of them because when it gets busy, it gets chaotic. But now this spring is really going to be the first time that I'm really going to start taking a day off during the week for real.
Good. Glad to hear that.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You've earned it. Take advantage of it. That's for sure.
Fantastic. So it sounds like the store and the business has been growing thanks to you guys, happy family working together and working the business. What's next for you guys?
I want my kids. I would like my daughter especially to go to get her GG to start with doing some GIA training. And my son, as he works his way up on the bench, gets more competent. I went back in 2007. A jewelry store that I worked for here in Gulfport for 15 years sent me to Blaine Lewis, to the New Approach School.
Great school.
Yeah, I went back when he was still in Virginia Beach for the week-long advanced stone setting class. And that just changed my perspective. I mean, the way that the techniques, the different ways, like I said, working with other jewelers, I mean, somebody could come up with something that you would never think of in a million years. But as soon as you see it and see it demonstrated, it's like a light bulb. It's like, that makes you think of 4 other ways. So I really, I'm definitely going to send him in the not too distant future. Maybe not this year, but maybe hopefully next year. Send him to some stone setting classes and, start moving him up on the bench and getting more proficient.
Fantastic. That's awesome.
Important to know. You got to keep the education going. You can learn hands-on from that, but nothing beats like, the GG after your name or, that you went to a school, and that will only help your business too. That, surely your credentials are really going to help you on that, bringing even more credibility. So, again, it's just so important for jewelers to invest into their employees and, get them in school. There's lots of scholarships out there from many suppliers. So, there are companies that, that you might be able to get some scholarship money out of too. So a lot of times if you contact your local association, I'm in North Carolina, so North Carolina Jewelers Association, they do have some scholarship money that they give to young bench jewelers, maybe send them,
Yep. I'm on the board for Mississippi Jewelers Association. And this last year we had a joint conference with Louisiana at the Beau Rivage there in Biloxi. And Jewelers of America sponsored everything. And they brought up, they've got several different scholarship opportunities for GIA classes and stuff. So I'm going to push my daughter in that direction. She's got, everybody pretty much has their hands full around here. But, as things go on and we get her more organized in her work life. That's definitely going to be on her plate.
Fantastic,
Good,
fantastic. And are you very active? You're part of the RJO group, right?
Yes, we just this is really almost a year in. I think it was
Oh,
last
okay.
May. Yeah, last May that we joined RJO, and we're going to be going this. I think is it in June or July outside of Chicago to the RJO.
Yep.
Yep, that will be our first show. So we're looking forward to it.
Oh, fantastic. Yes, the RJO group is they offer lots of resources and learning and even and education as well that's really going to be beneficial. So congratulations joining that. Yeah, there's sounds like you guys are moving all in the right direction, and that's fantastic. Yeah. So, well, we are certainly happy to talk to you here, and you had a very nice story in Southern Jewelry News. Great to see you and your son on the bench there in the pictures there, and your store. It sounds like the American dream in place. Like that's you're setting it up. You're calling your shots and having your family right there, right next to you. That's awesome, and I think that's true wealth when you can be happy with what you're doing, have your family with you, and and thrive. So that's awesome. I'm glad things are working out for you.
Yeah, even the dog follows me to work. The dog is probably the most popular person here.
I'm sure.
Have we featured your little furry friend on the job in our magazine? You've seen it, right? Furry friends on the job.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you gotta submit a picture.
I just broke down about a month ago and got her a little blingy collar, so she's showing off now. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, good. Well, we would love to feature her in our furry friends on the job. Nothing like it. Have your dog with you at work for sure.
Yeah.
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 But,
Perfect.
so if you're if you're going to RJO this summer, or you are in the Gulfport, Mississippi area, stop in and say hello to Cliff and his family, and check out their store. I mean, I'm just amazed at that in that little tiny space, all that you're doing and all those showcases. It's just it's a beautiful little spot. So it's just lovely. So we wish you much continued success, Cliff, because you're amazing that your journey into where you're at right now. So, congratulations on a really a great beginning and of your own business. I mean, that takes a lot. That's a huge accomplishment. So
Yeah.
from all of us at Southern Jewelry News and Mid-America Jewelry News, we want to, wish you continued success for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. So just like Elisa said, make sure you give Cliff and Horn Custom Jewelry lots of love on their website. Give them some just Google reviews. Why just give them Google reviews, like their social media, and make sure you stop in. But also make sure to check out Southern Jewelry News and Mid-America Jewelry News. They're awesome. Everybody loves Elisa. And glad to have you here, all Pshaw, here on the show. And this was great. Thank you, Cliff, for joining us here, talking with us, and sharing your journey and about your business, and much like Elisa said, continued success to you guys. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you, we'll see you in RJO next
we'll be there.
in the summer.
Well, yeah, that's right. And I'd like to thank my Pearls of Wisdom co-host here, Guy Panetta with Jewelry Store Marketing. Again, we're talking about how important Google is and SEO searches. You can have a free consultation with Guy, and he can really look at everything and do a great analysis and give you super good tips on how to get even more Google, get those 5-star reviews in there. But in the meantime, everybody head over to Horns Custom Jeweler and give him a bunch of likes.
Yes.
So
perfect.
Yeah. So check out everybody. Thank you, Guy Panetta, as always, for lining up a great interview. I appreciate it. It's been fun, and
absolutely.
I look forward to meeting you in person, Cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Cliff. Well, thank you. Thank you, Lisa, everyone. Thank you for listening to this episode. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. For more information about the show, please visit southernjewelrynews.com/podcast, brought to you by Southern Jewelry News and Jewelry Store Marketers. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you can catch the next show. See you then.